Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 11th Hour Gaming Channel. I am AJ Gills. Guys, I know this is coming to you a little late, kind of like last week. Last week it was due to something else was uploading right before this, so I couldn't get this up in time. This week, sorry, it's late. I'm in a different time zone than I was at school. So, I'm still trying to do this at noon Eastern, and I'm currently in Central Time, so, it's... Indiana's weird. We have we have two small chunks that are in Central as opposed to Eastern. It's a thing. So to me it's 11, not noon. So, it's just with all the time stuff. So I am sorry this one, again, is a little late. I'm trying to fix that. I am very sorry. If you're new to this show, don't know what I usually do. Basically what I do, I grab news stories from around, mostly IGN. I'm an IGN guy. But also, Game Informer, GameSpot, Polygon, Kotaku, those places. Type them up. I sit here. I'll deliver some news. I'll talk about them. If I got something to say about them, I'll talk about it. If not, I'll probably just go on to the next story. That sort of stuff. I'm sorry. I feel like that just went super quick. And I don't really have something else to say. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Although, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just I had a thought and it escaped my mind. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, my website down in the description below. I'm sorry. I slept in today and I get kind of weird when I do that. Facebook, Twitter, my website in the description. Go ahead, leave me a comment, hit that like button, subscribe. You want to help support the channel. Also you can help support the channel by spreading the words to your friends, get more views, more attention, more subscribers, all that. I'm shooting for at least 50 subscribers by October. Yeah, by October of this year. That'll be 1 year for this channel, so I'm shooting for that. I'm shooting for that, along with 5,000 total views, even though that's kind of a stretch. I think I'm sitting at 2,363 views. So, I know that one's kind of a lofty goal, so I think it's 50 subscribers. But still, tell your friends, try and get more views over here to the channel, all that stuff. So I'm gonna hop into the news now, and guys, I'm breaking my usual format where I start with tech news. I'm kind of breaking that because I didn't want to get into the I didn't want to put this somewhere in the middle or in the bottom so people kind of tune out for this story. Well, I guess it's kind of sucking because I'm gonna start it with what caused the second story. This first story being the fact that Sony has confirmed that No Man's Sky is being delayed from its June 21st release, and this has also been confirmed by Hello Games, the developer. Basically the new release date is in North America August 9th, Europe August 10th, and August 12th in the UK. Creator Sean Murray went to the PlayStation blog and posted, and I quote, "The game really has come together, and it's such an incredible relief as we sit and play it now, and as I watch playtesters every day, I can finally let myself get excited. We're actually doing this." End quote. Article by Seth G. Macy of IGN. That sounds great. Yeah, it's a slight delay. It's like a month and a half. So, not really a big deal. Would you think? Not really a big deal. And this is the part, I sent a tweet out about this while I was at the Indy 500. Yeah, this, I was at, I don't know if, I don't know, if any of you follow me on Twitter, I was at the Indy 500 last weekend. And I read about this and it kind of killed my buzz. It was a little sad. But apparently, and again, this creator, Sean Murray, and this is according to him, but he's also put out, shown evidence that this has happened. Since the delay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. That Murray says, I don't have any visual confirmation on this. Like, I haven't seen him post any of the actual what was said to him. All I know is that, as he puts it, he has been receiving death threats from various people about the delay. He did take to Twitter, and I think he's kind of keeping up a I don't know. I think he's trying to still be positive about the game. Going to Twitter and saying, and I quote, "I received loads of death threats this week, but don't worry, Hello Games now looks like the house from Home Alone. Hashtag Pillow Fort." I kind of like how he's kind of staying upbeat, because I know that, that kind of stuff that can take a toll on a person. Not to get too personal with this, because this is about them, not about me. But I've had some shit, some internet crap, with people, and it's just I've gone through some stuff, not necessarily as severe as this, but yeah, it takes a toll on it when people kind of bombard you with that, and like I said, about them, not about me. But kind of what makes me, and again, I'm talking about me. What kind of strikes me is the weird one is that he's not the only person who's been receiving death threats. Kotaku writer Jason Schreier has also been receiving death threats. I mean, he's been saying, but he has actually posted, on Twitter, on his Twitter account. You can find his tweet at Jason Schreier, SCHREIER. This was sent to him via Twitter. He screenshot it and kind of posted it, basically saying what it's like to write about video games on the internet, and then he posts the picture. I'll read you the quote. I'm not going to give the account that sent it. For one, he's said that Twitter has suspended the account, and he's done a couple articles on Kotaku. One saying that they've suspended the first update basically said that they weren't going to suspend the account because they haven't broken policy. And again, I'll show you what they said to him. And then received another update, I think 4 hours later, saying it's been not banned. You know what I mean? It's been the account's been suspended. So I'm not going to tell you who said this. I don't feel that that's my place. If you want, you can go find it on the internet. It's on the articles by Jason Schreier. It's on his Twitter account. I'll get into what was actually said to him. And what was said to him, and I quote, "Your little article about No Man's Sky being delayed has made me hate you to my very core. It's the only thing I live for, and you go and write that bullshit about a delay. Instead of visiting London later this month, I think I'll come by and say hi to you and fuck you up. You think you can get away with this that easy? Making fun of our Reddit page also? Sounds like you have a death wish. We'll find you." End quote. Then he sends another one saying, "Be afraid, human. We are coming for you." End quote. If you notice that when I was reading part of that, I was going, it's just because I can't imagine that somebody would send this shit to somebody who's reporting. It's the facts. And this was after he even talked about the possible delay, and then when the actual delay happened, and the part where this guy's telling Schreier that making fun of their Reddit page, that was after he'd already received death threats. So I'm assuming this was post. So again, I'm not 100% sure on the timeline, but basically the thing he said about the subreddit for No Man's Sky, with all these people, when he was talking about the possible delay last week, they were saying, no, it's just, they're just, maybe they're trolling and they're whatever, and all this, and how he was, and especially as he was talking about this guy and how I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, that line saying it's the only thing I live for is very telling to this kind of guy. I'm like, dude, get out of your fucking basement. Live a fucking life instead of sending this shit to journalists, not to the fucking developer. But this was sent to a fucking journalist. I'm sorry, I'm cursing. I'm a little animated because this is this is the job that I want to do. I want to write for one of these sites, and yeah, I understand there's a lot of haters out there on the internet. Fuck them. Some people just want to hate. But, this is over the top. Are you fucking kidding me? And I constantly say, gamers are some of the most... I believe, honestly, that true gamers are truly some of the most inclusive people you will ever met. They'll talk games with you. They'll play. Yeah, you'll fight, and but honestly, I think they're some of the most understanding people. Yet then I constantly do stories where there's people who are pissed off about female game leads. This shit, and I'm like, yes, these people exist, and it's disgusting. But the fact is, I still do believe in my heart of hearts that, that really true gamers, people like me, it just, and other gamers, that we really are very inclusive. We don't have a problem with anybody. We see this and go see a delay and go, oh, that sucks. Because I still remember last year when The Witcher 3 got delayed from February to May 19th, and I had to go on tour on that exact day. I was pretty pissed off. Not mad, but, mad. But again, I'll live. I played it 2 months later. And again, I don't have much to say about this, because this just pisses me off reading this, because I'm almost speechless. If I haven't made sense this story, I apologize. Go check out the article by ONS Good and the Jason Schreier articles on Kotaku. There's multiple of them. Just search Jason Schreier and scroll through. You'll find these articles. And again, so I'm sorry if I haven't made much sense. It's just this disgusts me, and I'm filled with a lot of emotions. As you can see, I'm filled with some parts of me that want to kind of laugh at these people and go, live a fucking life. And because I'm like, because I play a lot of games. Believe me, I do. I sit and play video games a lot. I also get out and I play golf. I have outside interests other than games. These people who say, this is what I live for, this is the only thing I live for, I'm like, well, then you need, and I'm like, I understand that if you talk to that guy in person and you go, well, I mean, that's not, I'm like, well, then don't say it like that. I mean, it's, again, as you can see, I'm filled with just some parts of me that just kind of want to laugh at it. There's parts of me that are angry, because again, I think a few times I've gotten like really kind of enraged about this. There's parts of me that are angry, parts of me that are sad, parts of me that think, what the fuck is going on with the human race? I don't know. Like I said, go check out the articles, ONS Good of Polygon, and the Jason Schreier articles on Kotaku. All right, about 12 minutes in. There's really not a lot of news this week. I'll hop into the tech news now. After that, like I said, I wanted to put that up at the top, just because I didn't want to bury that in the middle and have people maybe skip over it, because I thought that was very important, and that was something I really did want to talk about. But kind of moving on, AMD is planning to release a VR-ready graphics card that basically undercuts NVIDIA's GTX 1070. AMD's Radeon RX 480 will cost $199, while the GTX 1070 costs $380. All these figures come from the article by Matt Porter of IGN. There's also more specs of the card on the article. I don't know those kind of specs or that kind of tech stuff, so I'm not going to try and talk about it like I know it. I don't have much to say about this other than this upcoming thing I'm going to talk about. I would wholeheartedly suggest check out these two articles. One by Matt Porter, it's about the Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, who was talking about, and I believe, and this is a quote from the article, this is a quote from him that was used in the article, there is no market for a $2,000 entertainment device that requires you to dedicate a room to the activity. I don't know what people are thinking, end quote. And that was Zelnick saying, the CEO of Take-Two. And I think when he says dedicate a room, because I think a lot of people are like, why? Because, I have, my room that I sleep in, but then I play games. You know what I mean? I sit and I have an entertainment system set up in my room that, I play games. But I think what he's talking about is, like, you need an empty room to do that. And I agree with him. Go back, listen to whatever I talk about VR. And my problems, cost. I also like I also say this, I'm not sure if I've said this, I love third-person games. RPGs, like I love the Witcher franchise. I've said that a billion times. I like third-person RPGs. I like third-person shooters, like Mafia 3. that doesn't make sense with VR. It never does. I'll continue this rant after talking about this next one. The other article I'd suggest go check out by Lucy O'Brien, also of IGN. Or if I didn't know if I said Matt Porter, he's also of IGN. But Lucy O'Brien of IGN talking about the former EA CEO John Riccitello, Riccitello, and his prediction of a gap of disappointment in the VR market. Basically, what he's getting at is that it's going to come out and it's going to boom, and then it's just going to lull. Because there's so much stuff in development, and I'm just like, yeah, it's in development. Well, a lot of the stuff I've seen for VR, I'm like, I've seen some interesting demos and some interesting stuff, but a sheer number of games, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like the Kinect, where we're going to release a lot of games that have dual functionality. If you want it in VR, you can play it in VR, but if you don't, you don't have to. And we're going to miss the mark. There was an article on Polygon a while back talking about how VR is the future, but the future is not now, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Colin Moriarty of Kind of Funny, he once said, I can't remember where it was, I think it was on a episode of PS I Love You XOXO, who said, until these headsets, or he basically said something to the effect that until these headsets have their own internal processor that, can run all this stuff really, I'm not saying he doesn't have a place. I'm kind of putting my own thing in there saying I don't think it has really a place right now. And what I mean by that is, like, I like a VR headset, but again, it's like, what would happen to third-person genre games? Because I'm not going to sit at my desk, put on a VR headset, and play a game where I'm in third person. It's just like the screen's on my face. I do that if I'm like, I'd go outside and do it, or I'd go here and do it. I'd do it away from my entertainment system, which I can do if it has its own processor. Without that, I don't know. And then, again, I'm glad that smarter people than me have said it cost in this. It doesn't fully make sense. Again, I don't like VR right now. I'll be interested to see where it goes. But right now, I'm not a big VR guy. Although I will say I do support this next thing, that Naughty America will have a booth at E3. Now, if you don't know what Naughty America is, you're like me and a lot of other people. Apparently, it is an adult entertainment company, and they will, according to VG247, demo and showcase the latest in adult VR. Adult VR content. End quote. Yes, this is great. It's just because, what's awesome about this is at a trade show. This isn't like we're gonna do this in certain adult shops and come into this little booth and you put on this headset and you're gonna. I'm sorry to the younger viewers, you're gonna jerk off to it. This is weird. This is happening at a big conference like this. That also isn't like the Adult Entertainment Expo. This is like E3. I guess they both have Expo in their name. I'm sorry, this is just... this isn't super newsworthy, but this is just really funny. This next thing comes directly from the article. The article states, and I'll quote, Naughty America has its own $20 VR headset, which uses similar technology to Google Cardboard. This article, I got this from Matt Porter of IGN. So basically, it looks like they have their own independent system for pornography. Great. Even though I guess Oculus can also kind of run it, because I know the Oculus CEO is like, yeah, we're not going to ban it. It's a platform. It's not, So that's just, I'm just trying to imagine what that would be at the expo. It's just they pull people into this curtained off area, or they showing porn on a big screen while some guy's sitting there wearing the VR set, or are they literally going to take you into a back room and put the thing on your head and let you watch porn? And I'm like, are the people allowed to touch themselves? Are they not? That's what I really want. Not really. But I'm just there's so much that could go wrong with that. And there's... ew. Gross. I guess speaking of the exchange of bodily fluids, there's now a Tinder-like app for your iPhone for League of Legends players. It's called Unite LOL. It's currently a free iOS app. The article, make sure it says currently. I'm assuming that means they're looking to move over to Android. Also put it on Android. Basically, what it does is it sorts through, like registered players by location, like Tinder. But it also allows you, and this is also directly from the article, and I quote, Unite will also let you search based on summoner name, rank, preferred role types, and more, end quote. Article by Joe Scrabbles of IGN. See, now when it said preferred role types, I sat there in my dirty mind, just kind of like put that in like sexual roles or orientation or this or that, it's like some other gross stuff, but now I'm like, oh wait, no, it's like roles in the game. Yeah, okay. This is sort of similar. I think it's called Platonic. It was like a thing that lets you get together, I think, like in the real world with other people who like games in your area, or it will help you get like friends on your PSN account and whatnot. That's interesting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, you guys want to do this, have at it. I think it's great that somebody's found a way to do this. That it's gonna get people together. I just never thought that a dating app for League of Legends, that specific genre would exist. Although I never thought that FarmersOnly.com would exist. So, like I said, have at it. If you guys enjoy it, I'm not judging you. Do you. I do not care. I will not be using it, however, but that's because I haven't played League of Legends in, I think, 2 years. I sucked at it, so. Moving on. Bethesda is re-releasing the Fallout 4 Far Harbor DLC. I don't know if you guys watched last week. I talked about how that DLC, they're currently working on a big fix for it because apparently it shipped broken. So they were working on a big fix. Well, after trying to fix the issue, they just kind of decided to just go up. This is my interpretation of what they said. They just kind of went up and said, "Yeah, fuck it," and just re-release it. I have no confirmation that that's what they said. That's my impersonation of what was going on in their heads. But this makes sense. You can find the full details of how to get the new version without uninstalling everything through Bethesda forums and this article also by Joe Scrabbles of IGN. But you can also uninstall the game and its DLC and then reinstall it, and everything should work fine. I'm sorry, that's just really funny. Harvest Moon Skytree Village is coming to the 3DS. I do not have an exact release date. But this article by Alex Osborne of IGN. Last week I talked about how Ready of Dawn was going to announce their new game. If you don't know Ready at Dawn, The Order 1886. Well, they have announced the new game, and this will be an arena combat game called Deformers. It kind of looks like you're melee fighting with a bunch of piles of goo. I'm sure there's like more to it, and I don't know. I'm sure they'll do a good job with it, but I find the most interesting thing about this that is actually it's being published by Game Trust, and if you don't know what Game Trust is the publishing arm that GameStop is currently working on. They're kind of working with a bunch of indie developers. They're right now working with Insomniac Games to release Song of the Deep. Now this game. And I think this is a great idea for GameStop. This is a money-making tool for them because, with the whole that retail sales are kind of dying out to digital. So, this is a fantastic idea because they're kind of making monies in both ways. Because the way I don't have confirmation, the way I'm assuming this deal works, because the way, I do know this is how the deal works, that, they publish the game and it goes up online, but you can also buy a physical copy only at GameStop. So either way, they're making some money. It makes sense, like I'm gonna go pick up a physical copy of Song of the Deep for like $15 at GameStop, and that's the other thing I really like. The disc version will cost the same as the digital. I think this is a fantastic idea from GameStop. Like I said, our article by Seth G. Macy of IGN. Also, the game is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Apparently, according words are hard. Shown on Amazon Germany, kind of like an early premature posting. Batman Arkham Knight Game of the Year edition for PS4 and Xbox One. Oddly enough, no PC version. I wonder why. If anybody follows the industry, you should know. And it's because the PC version was basically broken. It didn't work. Currently, there's been no formal announcement by WB, I'm assuming, and I'm also assuming Rocksteady. But the article also does talk about the Batman Return to Arkham bundle that will feature the first 2 games, but not what was the first one? Origins. Will be Asylum and City. Will release July 26th, which actually seems a little weird because I didn't know that one was released. That one had an official release date yet. Article by Alex Osborne by GN. That's super weird. Basically, the Game of the Year edition, like all Game of the Year editions, it will be, a little. They'll make it a little prettier and all the DLC, like usual. Activision has announced Skylanders Imaginators releasing in the US October 16th. I don't have other release dates. The article only talked about the US release. This next little bit was directly from the article, and I quote, "Will allow you to create your own Skylanders for the first time in an all-new story in the universe. Brought to you by the original Skylanders creative team, Toys for Bob," end quote. Article by Lucy O'Brien of IGN. Anybody out there who knows Skylanders, tell me what it is, because I still don't fully understand it. Apparently, Blizzard has stayed true to their threat to ban cheaters from Overwatch. Currently, they have banned 1,572 players in China alone. I'm getting these figures, but in the article by Chloe Rad of IGN, there was no worldwide statistic labeled. There's also ways that I still want details on how they catch you. It's because you can report people for cheating. Is there like a review process, or do they just go, you out? I looked like I did the Hitler salute. I don't know. I want because I'm still a little shaky on that. But I don't mind the ban the cheaters, but I hope there's a review process for that. Video game movies haven't been doing too well. Ratchet and Clank. Well, Ratchet and Clank wasn't a bad movie. It just didn't do well in the box office. The Angry Birds movie, I heard, didn't do well. And obviously, I still have hopes for the Assassin's Creed movie this in December. I didn't know this, however, that that Ubisoft is currently in the works with a Tom Clancy's The Division movie. Will star Donnie Darko, Nightcrawler, and Jake Gyllenhaal. And it is currently looking for a writer. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Apparently, Ubisoft's internal movie division is planning on the current movies for the current franchises: Assassin's Creed, Splinter, along with The Division, AC, Splinter Cell, Watch Dogs, and Far Cry. According to the article, and also the article states that Fox is reportedly has plans for 2 AC movie sequels. Or Assassin's Creed movie sequels. Alright. I don't know how the Assassin's Creed movie is. I'm gonna go see it and keep an open mind because I love the franchise. It's my favorite video game franchise. I don't know. Especially with the weird animus thing that I've seen in the trailer, and I don't know. I'll be interested. I keep an open mind. But I don't think a Division movie. Well, if it's done right, it could work because I think the setting and everything is very. I just hope they try and do it standalone. They explain stuff, but you don't need. Because the games, you asked me, the game story was confusing, boring, and just uninteresting. That I really hope that they can do something good with it. I'd watch a Splinter Cell movie. I think if done right, that would be really fun. Watch Dogs, same thing. I would like to say there has been a Far Cry movie. It's called Rambo. But no, again, and this is the thing with video game movies, and it's, for the love of God, people, just do it right. Let the people who write the games write the movies. Stop, because that was Ratchet and Clank's problem. It had some clever dialogue and had some, but it wasn't the writers who wrote the game. Like, let the people who created these things do the movies. Don't just have people who have no idea, who just know the premise, and that bugs me. Almost as much as this next story that also kind of makes me laugh. EA CEO Blake Jorgensen apparently had misgivings about releasing Battlefield 1. The reason why, he wasn't sure that younger consumers would know what World War II and Vietnam were, let alone World War I. For the love of God. I'm like, is your opinion of the American education system that bad? I mean, like, anybody who doesn't know what World War II was, well, maybe, I'm gonna hope that I think he's getting at what the underlying conflict was of what World War II, because I've known people who've said World War II started, or that America was in World War II because of the Holocaust, or that World War II was started because of the Holocaust, and I say, no, World War II was started by I thought it started by Hitler's invasion of Poland. And then further invasions, and the U.S. got into World War II after a little thing called Pearl Harbor. There was even a crappy movie made about it, and that was why we really only fought Japan in the beginning. Playing Call of Duty 2. No, I'm sorry, not Call of Duty. Medal of Honor 2. That one was Pearl Harbor was like I think the opening scene. That was a PS2 game. I think I still have it somewhere in my house. But no, I mean just. I guess I could see I don't even fully know what what caused Vietnam or Korea. I've never understood. I'm gonna get a little political here. My political stance is, as America, we should leave other countries the fuck alone with their problems. No offense to other countries, but I think we've caused a lot of damage to the world by going in and saying we're the peacekeepers, and then we're toppling democratically elected governments and putting in tyrants, and we're reaping the benefits of it and going, we're for freedom, and pretty shaky. I'm sorry, I got political. I try and keep that out of this. But, I mean, come on, World War, obviously with World War, people should know what World War II is, and if you don't know what World War II is, go to school. Stop skipping. I mean, they should just kind of understand that, well, there's two, so there should be a first one. And again, I don't even fully understand what World War I, the underlying cause was. American education system. There are problems with the American education system. That's one of them. Although I will say, but I really do like the idea to do a World War I game. Jorgensen talks about this in this article by Joe Screvels of IGN. Continues to talk about how military technology really kind of shifted. I'm going to get now, because I also love history. Military history really kind of shifted. At the time, if you can see on my chest, see the cross sabers with the number. That's actually the symbol for the United States Cavalry. Well, the cavalry was still in existence in World War I, and by that I mean people riding on horses. Something else that was being employed were tanks and sniper rifles and machine gun. Well, the mounted machine gun, the submachine gun, and all that. I believe still hadn't been invented. But the mounted machine gun and but still what was considered the most powerful military tactic was the cavalry charge. So they to the old movies, they blow the bugle and then charge in with the horses from the flank. Small problem when you're doing that to a guy with a machine gun who's just gonna blow you, who's just gonna rip you guys to shreds. So basically that's what caused trench warfare was really big. So that's why in the trailers you see the people beating people to death with like a trench shovel, like a little shovel they used to dig. Bayonets were still in use. So really, I mean, World War I was this really cool time of tech between the old school and the new. And I think if this game really kind of shows that and really shows what World War I was, because I think in ways it was even worse. It was worse than World War II because we still did chemical warfare at that time. Dropping mustard gas and all that, because I believe that was also before the Geneva Convention. So, you know, like the rules of war that, you know, you could be considered war criminal was established after World War One. So again, this could be a really interesting game if done right, and I applaud them for deciding to make this as opposed to thinking that we're all idiots. I'm sorry, I rambled a lot in this video. I don't know. There's some stuff that I like to talk about, like history and that stuff at the beginning. But other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, you hit that like button, subscribe, like I said at the beginning, Facebook, Twitter, my website down in the description below. Stay tuned. I got a bunch of reviews that kind of have stalled. I've got busy, but I still have one for Quantum Break that I'm working on, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted 4, Doom, Homefront: The Revolution. I sent those 5. I'm still working on them. Those will go live on my website. This will go live on my website. I have Mirror's Edge Catalyst starting on the 7th. Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter on the 10th. The 28th, 7 Days to Die, the new Star Ocean game, and the Techromancer. That's the other one. So I got 3 big games coming out that day. A lot of stuff this week. For all the first parts will be on the all first parts, like always, will be on the website. You know, find every part on Facebook and Twitter, and or just subscribe to the channel. You'll stay up to date with all that. Tune in next week for this show. I do a lot of stuff, if you can't tell. If it seems like I don't do a lot, I'm sorry. You know, I do a lot in the background. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week. I love you guys. Stay tuned in for more stuff from the 11th Hour Gaming Channel. I'm AJ Gells, and I'm out.